Yeah. So, what do you think
Yeah.
of the whole metaverse idea that well Zuckerberg and many people are trying to create? Like, is this where the world is going? And do you see some form of Lightning Network as being the like currency of exchange in there, or do you think it would be created by whoever the creators of said metaverse or whatever digital world you're entering? Do you think it's going to be like their created currency, or do you think we're going to have like internet wide, digital space wide currencies?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd be interested to see what happens with the metaverse. I put out a tweet once. I think I said, "What about the multi-metaverse?" Because we talk about the multiverse as a potential theory
Yeah.
in astrophysics, but it was really a joke. And then we had the announcement last week that the Winklevoss has taken 400 million investment into Gemini to build their own version of the metaverse, but their idea is to build a decentralized metaverse. I think
Mm.
the idea of a centralized metaverse operated by Facebook or Meta, what they're called now, controlled by Mark Zuckerberg, sounds like my idea of hell. It's like they're basically creating what the Matrix was, and I just the history of Facebook's history isn't particularly pretty, right? Yeah,
Yeah, you can say
they
that.
haven't
Yeah.
really cared for privacy. They haven't really. They don't really have too much integrity. Now, I actually like the race between Twitter and Facebook, where for years Facebook seemed to be ahead, but like Twitter's now catching them up, and the Jack Dorsey was essentially the tortoise, and Facebook was the hare, and he's building a much more structurally robust social media platform. Now, look, don't get me wrong, Twitter isn't without its flaws, and there are some serious questions over deplatforming and censorship. I know, I understand that, but that said, it's no Facebook. The idea of plugging into myself into a metaverse operated by Facebook sounds like my idea of hell. Maybe it's just my age, but I'm I'm really wanting to spend more of my time outside and in nature and enjoying the real world. But I could see how my kids were like, "Oh, Dad, no, I can go in there and I could get to be this person, living this like amazing Ready Player One style life where I can be a racing car driver, I can be this and that." And that's cool, whatever. I'm much more into the idea of a decentralized metaverse, which is what the Winklevoss want to build. I think that's a much better idea. A decentralized metaverse that isn't controlled by any individual is certainly something we should strive for, and I would support them in everything they do. And then the idea will be, look, if it's the centralized Facebook metaverse versus the decentralized metaverse, my expectation is that the free market and the decentralized metaverse will figure out its currency, whereas the centralized metaverse will use whatever Mark Zuckerberg chooses, which is probably some shitcoin that they create. If it's the decentralized metaverse, then it'll be a plethora. It could be Bitcoin, it could be Bitcoin across the Lightning Network, and it could be any number of shitcoins. And the decentralized nature of that market will decide which currencies people wish to accept and use.
Hmm. I really like that idea you've just brought up, actually, of the multi metaverse. Like, what if these are all the different dimensions? What if this is like, what if we're literally summoning what if we're the ones creating all the different dimensions in the future by creating different metaverses that evolve and become their own thing? Like, what if this is
Well,
literally
what
it?
consequences of the metaverse? What if it's so cool inside the metaverse that you like real life is depressing? What if your life's so fucking miserable? Like you go to work and you got a shit job, and then you get home and you just can't wait to plug yourself in because you suddenly get to transport yourself into a world where you're some superhero or some, whatever it is. Like you get to be somebody else. You get to rebrand yourself inside the metaverse. But what are the consequences of that? Like addiction in there. If you die in the metaverse, what happens? Like I feel like there's a lot of discussions that need to be had about the consequences of the metaverse. I mean, my kids already spend too much time on TikTok. I mean, how much time would they spend inside the metaverse? What's that going to do for their mental health? I don't think we're questioning this enough.
Hmm. Yeah, I was listening to a very interesting thing yesterday, actually, about it was an interview with Jordan Peterson, actually, on from a Dutch company, VPRO, or VPRO, who actually did the documentary I did about GameStop that's coming out next year. So they were basically asking him about technology and what it does to kids, and he believes that there's going to be serious issues coming from children's lack of fantasy sort of playing in that like that he thinks that there's something really inherently needed about that I don't know, imagining just that you need like the 3, 4, 5 years in your childhood where you're the one inventing all these like worlds that you're playing in, and that the screens are the things that are that they're going to be causing, and they probably are. Like he thinks that that's the source of a lot of the mental health problems and kids these days, is that they're not getting that play. So maybe the metaverse would actually do that. Maybe we're just in like a low resolution version of what could happen. So that at the minute technology is like not able to accurately like recreate that. But then in 20 years, when it's so realistic, it might be able to like offer that sort of psychological development that we're not able to. But I get the feeling that there's probably something that we're never going to get from technology that we get from the real
What
world.
what if in the metaverse you can create a job or find a job, something you're really good at in the metaverse, which means you don't need a job in the real world. So you go into the metaverse as your job to earn money because you're successful. Maybe you sell real estate there. Maybe you're competing some kind of racing card thing and you're the best. What if you're so good that your entire income is derived from what you do inside the metaverse, and then you only come out of the metaverse to sleep? But what about if somebody within the metaverse says, hey, while you're sleeping, we can use your energy that you're creating, your heat energy, we can use that. So whilst you're sleeping, you can sell the energy created while you're sleeping to us in the metaverse. You are suddenly in the matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, my best friend said to me the other day, he was like, yeah, this is the Matrix. Like, that's what Mark Zuckerberg is making. And I can't remember who it was that tweeted it. It might have been Tim Dillon. He was like, well, there's nothing more reassuring about, the quality of life when one of the richest people in the world is so unfulfilled with the real world that he's going to go create a whole digital one for himself to exist in.
To be honest, I think it's the porn companies, like every other technology innovation, are going to lead the way with the metaverse. Everyone's going to be able to go in there and have sex with whoever they want, however they want.
Has no one seen the Futurama episode? Do you know the one I mean?
Ah.
Where they're like where Fry he gets a robot that looks like someone, I can't remember who it is, some TV star from like the 90s, and he just only wants to like hang out and have sex with the robot. And then Dr. Farnsworth is like, didn't you see the film? And it's like some film they show all kids in like the year 3000. It's like, don't have sex with robots, don't get into these relationships, because otherwise we'll never have children and the human race will die. And yeah, it's a joke, but it's real. Like, if we all go in there, that's us. We're done. Like, I guess we gotta.
Well, I think we're living at the best and worst of times. The best times in that we got to live through this new like era of technological innovation where we went from an old phone where we had to dial to phone our friends to like suddenly having a super computer in our pocket that's made our lives immensely better. But we're also on the verge of so much technological innovation that we can actually have the ability to completely destroy ourselves. So we got the perfect time, I think, just in that slot. I think my time will be done just before we destroy ourselves.
We are gods, but for the wisdom, I think is the quote. But do you think that's actually the case? Are we at this end, or because a lot of people think we're at the start? Like, and I like to believe that, at least anyway. It seems that there's a good chance that we're in a position where like we can have our cake and eat it too. Like, technology is getting like just exponentially more brilliant. And as long as we don't allow greed and power-hungry people to completely destroy the system, we have a ridiculously positive future, like, potentially in front of us. Like, we have to take the right steps, but like all the potential is there for things to be absolutely incredible. Like, I think they expect the UN expects absolute poverty to be gone by the year 2030. Like, what? That's just mind-bogglingly amazing. Like, that means that no one will be starving, theoretically, but for like horrendous governance in whatever country they're in. Like, Imagine
I
what
think we
humans
destroy
can
ourselves.
do. You think we destroy ourselves?
Yeah, I think we destroy ourselves because it only takes one psychopath with the wrong technology to destroy us. Like CRISPR, the ability for like some psychopath to be able to create, all the worst combinations of all diseases, like take Ebola and make it as virile and contagious as COVID. Something like that. Or I don't know. I feel like we destroy ourselves somehow. I should be more positive, but I feel like we destroy ourselves.
Why are you stacking sats if the world's going to end? No.
I think it ends. I think it ends after me. I think I've got like a decade or two before it ends, but
Okay.
I think we destroy ourselves.
Well, I mean, well, we can end with this, but I tend to be quite positive about things. Like we've had the capability to destroy ourselves for 75 years, and we haven't, not yet, thankfully.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we'll see. We'll see.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment for us in the comments below. Let me know what you thought and if you'd like to see more of this from the show. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time.